Welcome to 4C Visions. I'm your host, R.V. Hight, Director of Communications at Central Carolina Community College. In this edition of 4C Visions, it is my pleasure to welcome Dr. Lisa M. Chapman, who became President of Central Carolina Community College effective April 1, 2019. Dr. Chapman is the former Senior Vice President, Chief Academic Officer at the North Carolina Community College System office in Raleigh. Before going to the state level in 2014, Dr. Chapman had been with CCCC for 27 years. At the college, she held the positions of instructor, chair of the Math and Science Department, academic dean, vice president of academic affairs, chief academic officer, and executive vice president of instruction, chief academic officer. Dr. Chapman, welcome home and welcome to 4C Visions.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be home and glad to be here today.
Well, it's good to have you. How does it feel to be back at Central Carolina Community College?
So I have been enjoying visiting all of our sites, seeing again what we do so well, learning about the new ways we've been doing things, and just really enjoying getting acquainted and reacquainted with folks. So it's great.
Outstanding. Well, with a Bachelor of Science in Zoology from UNC Chapel Hill and a Master of Science in Physiology from East Tennessee State University, were you interested in science as a child? And what was it that first attracted you to the field of science?
So I was most interested in how the body works. And I had some early thoughts about being a doctor, and realized after I got older that my greatest interest was really more in research. So yeah, I did have interest in science, but particularly in how the human body works.
Well, before coming to CCCC the first time, you were a biologist with the National Institute of Environmental Health Sciences in Research Triangle Park. What was it that interested you in moving from your job there to working in the community college setting? And I know that first week was kind of interesting for you.
It was. So I've told folks I finished my last day at the National Institute of Environmental Health Sciences on a Friday. I started at the college on Monday and taught my first class on Wednesday.
Wow.
And fortunately, I had wonderful students who were very kind and generous as I learned to develop what I believed to be was my philosophy of teaching. I loved working in the research facility. As I mentioned, the research and understanding how the body works, understanding how cells work, I absolutely enjoyed that. What I also enjoyed at NIEHS was I got to train visiting scientists.
Wow.
Now, I'm not going to tell you what was state of the art because it was so long ago, it's not state of the art now,
Right.
but we would have folks from Japan and Australia, different countries, as well as different areas within the United States. And my responsibility was to teach them in the area that I was focused on. And during that time, my husband and I moved to Sanford. I was working at RTP, he was stationed at Fort Bragg, and then we started our family, and I wasn't as interested in commuting at that time, and a teaching opportunity became available. I thought I would give it a chance, and little did I know how much I would fall in love with it.
Isn't that interesting? Wow. Well, what do you remember about your early days at CCCC?
So some of the things that I think are so special to me are how close-knit the college family was, how supportive the college family was. You know, we had opportunities to socially engage with each other, and really when you think about Lee County and you think about Harnett County and Chatham and how we serve those communities, the college family was really devoted to each other. That devotion, of course, also included the support of our students, and I can remember a number of times when I would have students that would stay after class, and I told you I was learning about my philosophy for teaching, and I'm very thankful those students persisted after my first class, but they would spend hours and hours, as much time as we could together, to make sure that they were learning what they needed to. And really, the time outside of class working with the students is what helped me understand what I needed to be doing in class.
Fascinating. Well, during your first tenure at the college, you were instrumental in the establishment of Lee Early College, a partnership between Lee County Schools and CCCC. You were a leader in developing the college's bioprocess technology program, the first in North Carolina, and the barbering program, the first at a community college. And you developed the college's division of student learning, whose purpose is to increase student success. Those accomplishments alone must make you very proud.
They do, because of what I've seen the college do with those things that we started. And of course, none of those were my idea. I worked with some really bright, innovative, energetic folks who engaged with the community, saw a need, and saw how we could help meet that need, and allowed me the opportunity to work with them on that.
Outstanding. What was it like serving as Senior Vice President, Chief Academic Officer for the North Carolina Community College System?
So the last 4.5, almost 5 years, I have had the opportunity to represent all 58 colleges in a number of ways, visiting them in their communities and seeing how important they are to the community and that they serve. And also, I've had the distinct privilege of representing our system as I've traveled across the nation. And I will tell you, there is absolutely no doubt we have the very best system in the nation. We're the third largest, and that's because of the number of colleges we have. You know, the philosophy that our founding fathers had of making sure that post-secondary education was accessible within North Carolina has been supported by the 58 institutions. So we've got that accessibility. We're continuing to work on helping them be successful, but really it has been such a privilege to represent our system across the state and to learn all the wonderful things our colleges are doing.
It is exciting to see all that's going on in our community colleges in North Carolina. What did you enjoy most about your time serving as one of the top community college system officials?
Probably the most fun I had was when I got chances to visit among the 58 institutions and see the specialty programs, see the special people who were so supportive of all of our students, be able to meet and engage with many of the students that we serve. I think that would be the most special memory. I will also say that I worked with a tremendous team in Raleigh who is, each of them is very focused on serving our colleges so they can serve our students. They understand our mission. They engage with our other state agencies. That was a tremendous learning curve for me. To be able to recognize how we worked at the state level with the other agencies. And I made some great colleagues there as well. North Carolina has lots of challenges, but we have a lot to be proud of.
And we were certainly so proud of you being there, and Dr. Chapman made it a habit to visit here often, and we were always so thrilled to see her. Even during your time in Raleigh, you continued to call Sanford home.
I absolutely did. So you were asking me about my early career, and I talked about the fact that my husband was stationed at Fort Bragg, I worked in RTP, and we both commuted. When I commuted originally, US 1 was a 2-lane road, and the back roads were really back roads. The traffic was very, very different than it is now. But it is not a bad commute, and I will tell you, I loved getting to know Raleigh. I wasn't in the office a lot. I was out among our colleges and working with other agencies, of course, in terms of the role that I played. But when I was in downtown Raleigh, I absolutely loved getting to know that gem that we have in North Carolina. The city was great, but it was always wonderful to come back home in the evenings.
I know that's right. Well, please share with our audience about your family and their connections to CCCC.
Well, so my husband would probably tell you that he's the reason that I got the opportunity to work at Central Carolina. I mentioned he was stationed at Bragg. He was in the Army and spent some time there, earned the opportunity for the Army College Fund. When he got out of the Army, he came to Central Carolina, and he enrolled in the automotive technology program. So he completed his, there was a diploma and then the degree. He completed both of those, and while he was taking classes, his last semester, one of the faculty members who also happened to be a department chair mentioned they were looking for a biology instructor, and he told them someone that he knew might be interested in the position. So he's the one that let me know about the position, and part of that was because he'd had such a great experience here. Later on, he taught a class or two after he had finished up in the program. So my husband is an alum and very, very proud of the college. My son, who is a Sanford firefighter, he works for the city, and he's also the chief at one of our volunteer fire departments, completed his associate degree here after he finished high school. So he completed the associate in arts here, and then has taken a number of our firefighting classes here as well, and has absolutely benefited in his career with what this college offered for him. My daughter, who has an undergraduate degree and a master's degree, also took some dual enrollment classes here. So my family has spent a lot of time with Central Carolina Community College. My daughter-in-law got her associate degree at Sandhills in RadTech, a program we don't offer, but she took a number of her courses here. And I will tell you that both of my grandchildren, in terms of delivery, were served by nurses who graduated from our program. So I think we're pretty much a big part of the Central Carolina family.
Well, those two grandchildren are certainly adorable, and we're looking forward to getting them on our campus to become students as well.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Well, it's a pleasure to have Dr. Chapman with us today. In a few moments, we're going to talk to her about some of her thoughts about Central Carolina Community College looking forward. We will return to 4C Visions after these messages.
Morning, Gary. We are GetSchooled.com. You want a college education, don't you?
You know you do.
Yeah, but I don't know where to start. That's why we're here. We're free, handsome,
I think we're breathtaking.
and here to guide you through every step of the way, starting with attendance. Gary, financial aid forms. Biology homework, G. I got this. Is that Bran? Colleges love extracurricular activities.
Chess really isn't my thing.
I got this. Doesn't matter. Go ahead. Picking a college, man. You and us. We go together like tacos and Tuesday.
And I love tacos.
Fire and ice.
Those don't really go together.
Go to GetSchooled.com for more info.
And then from this angle, it all makes a star.
I'm a teacher. Let me tell you what I make. I make learning a privilege, not a chore.
Show up
And frustration, a tool, not an obstacle. I make working hard seem easy, and giving up impossible.
And then we're gonna turn the lights and everybody look up.
I make an old subject feel like a fresh thought.
Finally won. What's your reaction? Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
And unconventional methods
Okay, what else?
common.
This is their world.
There's nothing.
And then they die. Go ahead, go, go, go.
I'm a teacher. I make more.
Listen to me. I am captain of the track team. And if I'm late,
She doesn't really think she's going to get out of here, does she?
Be nice. She's new. Hello, is anyone there? Ugh!
Wow. Even from our standards, you look awful.
Oh, sweetie, what happened? Me? My friend Becky got to talk to this super cute boy, and I tried to act like I wasn't jealous, but I so totally was. And then out of nowhere, this concrete barrier just popped up. Maybe it was a semi.
You mean you were driving?
Yeah. I mean, I know the whole eyes on the road thing, but this was a super important text. Maybe you have to know, Becky.
Texting? Great.
But it was only like 5 seconds, and I'm a really, really fast texter, so it wasn't even a big deal. Actually, has she texted me back yet? Wow, I get like no bars in this place. I wonder if they have Wi-Fi here.
Welcome back to 4C Visions. Today we are visiting with Dr. Lisa M. Chapman, who is serving as the 6th president of Central Carolina Community College. Dr. Chapman, upon your return home to CCCC, what has been your early observations about the state of the college?
So the college is doing exceptionally well. No surprise to you, I'm sure. Central Carolina is an up-and-coming leader within the system in a lot of areas. We've always been a college that was innovative with new program development. One of the things that I'm really seeing is how well we have focused on looking at all of the other important student supports and program designs to ensure that our students have every opportunity to be successful.
Well, how do you see the mission of the college?
So, you know, when we think about Central Carolina, we want the college to be that economic leader within the communities that we serve. And if we do that, we're going to be able to take care of our citizens, we're going to be able to take care of our students, and ensure that our community continues to have economic success. Education is critical for our North Carolina is doing pretty well right now. Our communities are doing pretty well right now. For us to be able to continue that requires innovative approaches to education and ensuring more and more of our students and our citizens have the opportunity for those post-secondary credentials that really help them be prepared for today's work world and tomorrow's. And if we do that, we're taking care of the communities that we live in and love.
Outstanding. Well, I wanted to speak to you about the mission of the college in terms of workforce development and career and technical education, which has long been a mainstay here at the college.
It certainly has, and I will tell you, one of the things that we've seen across the nation, actually, especially here in North Carolina and our communities, is that there is an ever-increasing need for students and citizens to have post-secondary education and training in those career and technical education fields. The challenge for us is making sure that people know about the good jobs that are out there, the opportunities that are out there, and also the education and training that is required to be successful in those jobs.
Well, and while we've always been working workforce development and that sort of thing, we've gone more and more to serving young folks, which I think is a wonderful thing. You were instrumental in the development of the Lee Early College program. Talk to us a little bit about your commitment to serving our area high schools through the various career and college promise programs.
So I've spent a lot of time in the last 5 years working with our partners at the state level to ensure that we can continue to provide our career and college promise programs or our dual enrollment programs in the way that we need to. Certainly Central Carolina is a leader. We're a leader because of our early colleges, which we have in all 3 counties that we serve. We're also a leader because of how our career and college promise is designed. So we have career coaches that we have placed in our area high schools, and that program was actually started as I was leaving the college before, and I've watched it grow. In fact, I've watched it be replicated across the state. Our legislature has seen the value in that as well. And the reason is because we need to help our young folks know as early as possible the opportunities that are out there. There are many times that students may make choices about their career and then change their mind. Mm-hmm. But what we want to make sure is that they're making informed choices. We don't want them to make a choice because they didn't know.
Right.
So our career coaches help engage those students early on about the career opportunities that are available, and then help them see the education pathway that supports that. And that's critical now because those career and technical education jobs and programs of the past are different than they are, or they were different in the past than they are today, and a lot of our parents and students aren't aware of what they could do and how they could support their families, and then have opportunity to continue. You think about our mission of our college, we talk about accessible lifelong learning. We want to make sure we have programs where students can join the program, get the education and training that they need. They may need to exit out and work for a little while, and then they decide that there's another opportunity they're looking forward to within the same career field. We want them to be able to jump right back on that education pathway and continue forward. And we're the best positioned institution to provide that for them.
Absolutely. And I would just tell our audience that if you're interested in learning more about Central Carolina Community College and its programs, you can visit our website at www.cccc.edu. Dr. Chapman, how do you think CCCC and our state's community college system is set in regards to our students being able to move forward to achieving a 4-year degree and beyond through our various articulation agreements?
Well, we're in a very good position. As you look across the nation, we have a lot of opportunities that other states don't have. We have a comprehensive articulation agreement that is among our 58 community colleges and our 16 public universities. We also have the identical comprehensive articulation agreement with our independent colleges and universities. And that is not necessarily the case in other states. So our students have a comprehensive approach to post-secondary education that says you can start in your local community college. In fact, you can start in high school with your dual enrollment pathway, your career and college promise pathway, which in North Carolina is tuition waived. Again, that's not necessarily true across the nation. And then that pathway takes you to your community college. You can complete your associate degree and then have that specifically aligned with a baccalaureate degree pathway that is a part of our comprehensive program in North Carolina. That's exceptional. In addition to that, Central Carolina has a lot of bilateral agreements with universities with some of our specifically designed CTE programs that may not have been set up initially for transfer, but because of that opportunity to step out into your career and then come back later on and continue that lifelong learning. We have some great relationships with our senior partners that allow, again, a seamless transition for our students.
How exciting and,
Absolutely.
And how cost-saving for our students, which
Absolutely.
is very important to us. What are the immediate challenges that you see facing CCCC and our community college system?
Well, you know, one of our challenges is always funding. We do so much for so many, and we have a comprehensive community college system. Again, that's different than what you see in most other states. We serve our students with adult education, so our students that come back and may get their high school equivalency or their high school diploma. We have a multitude of short-term training options for our students, and then we have some of our standard, what we have called curriculum pathways for students as well. And you know, we just got through talking about the transition. So we do a whole lot. Central Carolina does that. Our other 57 institutions do that as well. And the funding that supports that doesn't meet all the needs that we have. In addition to that, one of the things that we have learned more and more in more recent years is not just about what we need to do in terms of the academic pathway for the student, but those additional supports in terms of advising and career coaching, as I mentioned. So we spend a lot of time trying to ensure that the dollars that we get have a tremendous return on investment. So funding is one of our biggest challenges. Central Carolina has been very diligent in working on getting a lot of grant-supported dollars, but we continue to need to look at other resources for funding. I think in addition to that, and I'm going to go back to what I said before, we have an opportunity to help students get into a career that absolutely has family sustaining wages and in a very inexpensive way, but we're still the best kept secret in the community and in the state in how we do that. And I think it's because of the fact that we do so many different things. People tend to know us for the one experience they may have had and don't realize those other opportunities.
Absolutely. And I would just add, Dr. Chapman, that I think our county commissioners in all three of our counties have been really generous to Central Carolina Community College over the years, and we've been blessed to have legislators who really have looked after our interest, and we're excited to have those folks be some of our biggest supporters.
Absolutely, and I'm glad you mentioned that, because I've been talking about our dual enrollment or our Career and College Promise. So one of the things I mentioned that is so great in terms of opportunities in North Carolina is that we have dual enrollment that is tuition waived. One of the things that we know that is big news for our three counties is that our local counties have supported students through our Central Carolina Promise program that is starting this coming year, where students that complete dual enrollment opportunities, 4 courses, 12 hours, can continue on at the community college and that tuition be covered through their associate degree. That's an opportunity that not a lot of people have, and in areas where you see that outside of our communities, it is not necessarily supported by the local government. So you're absolutely right, and we have had some great support throughout the years.
Outstanding. Dr. Chapman, what are your dreams and aspirations for the future of the college?
So, you know, when I think about Central Carolina, I'm going to steal a phrase from one of my mentors that I got to know in the last year or so. He's the president of the community college system, President Peter Hans. And he describes our student population as the top 100%. We have phenomenal students, and what we want to make sure is that we provide them with the opportunity to go from wherever they are as far as they can go in terms of supporting themselves, reaching their career goals, and taking care of our community. So when I think about Central Carolina, I want it to continue to be the great place to work that it is. I want to continue to have our college family taking care of each other and enjoying each other and supporting each other. And then I want to make sure that we continue to be the support for economic progress in our communities as we've been in the past, being able to adapt as we need to ensure that we're doing just as much in the future.
Absolutely. Dr. Chapman, this is your opportunity. What message would you like to share with our audience, especially those who may be considering CCCC for furthering their education?
Absolute best place for you to come for any post-secondary opportunity that you're interested in. This college cares more about its students than any other institution. It provides the best high quality educational experience that you can get, and I'm incredibly proud and would love to see you here.
Absolutely. And again, remember to visit our website, www.cccc.edu, to learn more about the college. Dr. Chapman, in closing, what do you think makes CCCC such a special place?
I think the college is a special place because of how much it cares. and what all we do for the community. Did have one of our college faculty describes it as a destination college. People come here to work and they stay because they're committed to their communities and their students. What better place to be?
Amen, amen. Dr. Chapman, it's a pleasure to have you back at CCCC. You are our family. You've always been our family, and we're glad to have you back in the fold with us again. And viewers, we thank you for being with us today on 4C Visions.